So I thought it could be kind of fun to do a bit of a video update here. I've talked to a few people, but I'm sure there are some that are like, what are these Facebook posts? What's going on? So, plus, I also think it might be kind of helpful just to sort of process and speak through like what's been going on. So, about 3 weeks ago, a little over 3 weeks ago, I woke up one day out of the blue and couldn't lift my arms over my head, and my upper back, mid back, through my arms and my forearms down to my hands were just completely atrophied. If you've ever worn a cast, broken a bone, worn a cast for like 6 to 8 weeks, it's like that feeling of like when they take the cast off and you are like, wow, I need to completely rebuild this body part. It just feels so weak. And as someone that has always kind of prided herself on feeling strong, having grown up an athlete, played sports, I lift weights. I know I'll never be skinny, but I've always had the philosophy of like, I'll be strong, right? I've always felt strong. So it was like really like a scary experience to wake up to that. And in addition, I was having some pains and weakness in my knees and hips and ankles. So it really was kind of just this like widespread muscle weakness, along with some pain. And anyway, so that over the course of the next few days afterwards, my lymph nodes got swollen, my throat started to hurt. I was having like weird pains in my like face and my jaw, and my tongue hurt, and it was just all this weird stuff. And long story short, this has sort of progressed over time. I've been meeting with my doctors. I have a rheumatologist, and I've been meeting with him. I've been to, this is now my fourth hospital visit. And I've been here since Sunday. The muscle weakness, I was told, was called something. It's called myositis. Now, the rheumatologist we met with yesterday put a question mark on that. Originally, could have been myositis. Now we're not so sure. It may or may not have been caused by a virus or autoimmune. So we've been doing a lot of tests, a lot of blood work, MRIs, to try to figure out the cause of this. It is rare, and it's pretty debilitating. So like a few days ago, I basically have been spending the last 3 weeks in bed. A few days ago, and I've been on prednisone, tried to stop the prednisone. They tapered it down, and then on the day that I was supposed to not take prednisone, I actually could not walk, so we got a wheelchair for me to use. So the weakness is profound. It's not sort of this like, it's not minor. It doesn't feel like, oh, I can continue to function with it. It's very debilitating. So that's that, right? So that's been ongoing. The weakness stuff right now, I would say, is focused mostly on like, it's been mostly my forearms and my thighs at this point. Some of the rest of the stuff is kind of resolved. But my grip is very affected. So originally I couldn't open a medicine bottle. Now I can. I like cutting Doran's food, for instance, like making him dinner, cutting his food, something simple like that. I can do it, but then I'm so exhausted by it that I like have to lie down after. So it's been very hard to function, to say the least. All that being said, this whole thing has kind of led up to what happened on Sunday, which is why I'm here at the hospital today. So on Sunday, I injured my finger, my pinky finger, and I was trying to get an x-ray for it. That's a whole other story. Because of the weakness, essentially got my finger caught under Doran when I was trying to get him in the stroller, and I heard crunching and whatever. So I thought that I broke my finger, and I was trying to get an x-ray for it. On the way back from urgent care, I was in an Uber with my mom, and I started to not feel very good. So the Uber dropped us off. We stopped. I just sat down on the bench outside of our condo building, and what happened next was extremely scary. I started to feel really intense chest pains, like really, really intense. Told my mom about it. I said, call 911. Mom called 911. And next thing I know, my forelimbs went completely numb and tingly. So, I've done CPR, I've been a lifeguard, I've read things. And so in my mind, I figured I was having a stroke or a heart attack. And nothing was moving fast enough. Unfortunately, this weekend, there was a huge concert right outside of where we live in Philly, right on the Parkway. We live right by where the Rocky Steps are, so that's where like all the big events happen here. And it was really, really hard for an ambulance to get to us quickly, and it could not have gotten here quick enough. So while this all was happening, this wonderful man who was a new neighbor, and he's about to be our best friend, he came by and he was like, what can I do to help? And he ran and got aspirin, which could have saved my life if this was a heart attack. My mom was like feeding me water, and as time went on, we were waiting for the ambulance. I started throwing up. I lost my bowels. That's never happened before. And it was really terrifying. The chest pain just like continued to get worse. My whole body was just totally fucking numb. Ambulance got there, could not have gotten us to the hospital quick enough. I was like in the ambulance, I was like asking the EMT, I was like, do you guys have fucking paddles, like if I need them? And he was like, oh, let me see, I don't know. Like he did, but like the whole thing felt very casual and like whatever. So we get to Penn. They run all these tests. Essentially, I was treated for a heart attack. They gave me more aspirin, gave me like Tylenol. I don't even know what else. Did all the blood work. Got me on some anti-nausea. And long story short, not so short, the good news is I did not have a heart attack. I did not have a stroke. There was some concern about me possibly having a seizure because I was having some like stuff going on up here. I was did feel kind of like a zap and like swelling. They did a CT scan they did an MRI on my brain. They did an MRI on my back. They've done all the blood work. My my lactate was off. My electrolytes were off. I'd been on prednisone for this myositis, and the prednisone has caused a lot of like heart palpitations for me. It's also caused a lot of like anxiety and panic, for what that's worth, which did not help Sunday. The prednisone also causes like a lot of it, like caused me to pee a lot, and so we don't have like a final answer here, but it is possible that the excessive peeing and maybe even something having to do with my blood pressure being off with maybe the prednisone, in conjunction with my electrolytes. Electrolytes can like cause some weird neurological stuff, including numbness and tingling, and dehydration in the mix. I do vaguely recall not drinking enough yesterday or Sunday, or feeling like, okay, I actually could be dehydrated, or maybe I didn't eat enough. I don't know. But my sense is that maybe it was like the perfect storm of a few different things that caused what happened on Sunday to happen. Right now we are waiting to hear from I'm gonna probably be meeting with a neurologist. I met with a rheumatologist, but I'm hopefully gonna be meeting with a neurologist, because the rheumatologists think there could be some sort of neuromuscular thing happening at this point. So we don't really know. We don't have like final answers yet on any of this. We are working through them to find them. And the good news is that my blood work has normalized. The MRIs were good, normal, and all signs are pointing in a good direction in terms of like scary things that you want to rule out, right? So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I just sort of wanted to give an update. Sunday was like just like by far the most terrifying personal thing that I've been through. My birth, like Doran's birth, when I gave birth to him, I had a C-section, and that was pretty traumatic. The medicine did not work during the C-section, and that was a really fucking traumatic experience, and it like fucked me up in the head, and it fucked Shauna up, and it was really tough. But this, I would say, is up there with that. It's a lot to process, and just really, really, like, you think you're dying. Like, that's what I was going through right in the ambulance. I thought I was dying. So I think that's going to be like the hard thing right now, is just trying to like, take the time to process and somehow make sense of it. And like, obviously this has been very hard on my family, and not seeing my son, although Shauna and Doran are coming over to the hospital today, so I'm going to see them soon. Anyway, so fingers crossed we keep moving in the right direction. Just wanted to give an update, and I'll keep people in the loop as it makes sense.